back to Football Barbie, where we talk about anything and everything football. We're going to talk to you about the first week of the NFL playoffs. Who is my prediction? What is going on? And what are some of the most interesting things going into the playoffs, where I swear sometimes you gotta almost think that the script is written. So let's get it started. Go Eagles. We're in the playoffs some freaking how after a horrible end of the season, but let's get it started.
Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
Of the 4 teams who have never been to the Super Bowl before, 3 of those teams actually made the playoffs: Houston, Cleveland, and Detroit. However, Houston and Cleveland are going to be facing each other in the first week, so one of them will be out. The Browns and the Texans, who knows what's going to happen with that game? That is at the Browns are 5, let's say, and the Texans are the 4th spot, and it's a 1:30 p.m. game on Saturday. This is all Pacific time. For the second time in 20 years, the Browns are in the playoffs. Even though they played each other in week 16 for this game, it was without CJ Stroud. He will be playing this weekend and facing somehow special Browns defense, which has helped them to such an impressive record this season. I'm really kind of surprised. So this is where you start getting to a lot of the wild card teams. Apparently, at least one wild card team has won its opening round of the NFL playoffs in each of the last 6 postseasons. So as for the Browns, they do have star players like Amari Cooper, Zadarius Smith, David Njoku, and obviously Joe Flacco. You know, I kind of want to root for the Browns here. Joe Flacco previously won the Ravens a Super Bowl 10 years ago. What is that? Amazing. It's so crazy to me. I'm here rooting for somebody who's like an underdog. You know, he won the Ravens a Super Bowl, and now after everything is said and done, you know, he's doing fantastic for them. So Joe Flacco, in week 13, he started apparently off his couch for the Browns, and he tied for 9th most big-time throws with 8. During the Browns' 4-game win streak from weeks 14 to 18, Flacco was 4th among qualifiers in yards per attempt at an astonishing 8.6 yards per attempt. So he does have 7 interceptions in that time frame, which did make him 2nd, but I still think that they do have a really good chance to win this week. If my Eagles don't make it to the Super Bowl or any further in the playoffs, I'm keeping my fingers crossed we do win this first game. But if we do not make it, I really want a team who's actually never been to the Super Bowl to go, because I'm tired of everybody who always wins to win again. It's quite annoying. So it is the first playoff game, though, of the Super Wild Card slate. And like I said, it's very interesting because it is the battle of an old person. Not old, but he's been in the league for, a while, and then he wasn't playing for quite some time, versus a new rookie sensation, CJ Stroud, who has been tremendous this season. And I'm sure that the Texans are absolutely thrilled, like I've said, that they took CJ Stroud and not Bryce Young. So I'm going to give it up to, I think that with how Joe Flacco is, with the Browns, their amazing defense, combined, like I said, with Flacco's elite skills, I do use that word, potentially connection with Amari Cooper will give them an edge here to win it out in Texas. Next up, you have the Dolphins, who are the 6th spot, at the Chiefs, who are the 3rd spot, 5 p.m. Pacific on Saturday. So Tyreek Hill does get another chance of beating his former team. It does make you think, like I said, sometimes if these things really were written. So once again, Tyreek Hill, who's on now in the Dolphins, is facing against the Chiefs. So this time they met back in week 9, where Kansas City was in Germany, and they did win that game 21-14. Apparently, though, the game is in Kansas City Saturday night, and it is expected to be freezing when the game kicks off. It's supposed to be around 6 degrees. 6 degrees to start? That's horrible. I'm sorry if these players must be freezing. I mean, I give it up to them. I mean, obviously, some of them get some big paydays. But, man, did you see, what was it, the Ravens game where it's pouring down rain? Yeah, brutal. The Dolphins have a 3-7 record when it's 23 degrees or colder, and Saturday's night said projects to be one of the coldest in NFL history. But the bigger factor here is health, and Miami is down some big names, and these aren't the Chiefs like of past years, because I'm not really sure what happened to the Chiefs. I'm really honestly still mad at the Chiefs for losing to the Raiders on Christmas Day, because that screwed me up for my whole football pool. But you know, that is what it is, and I was not very happy camper. I was really getting sick and tired of seeing the stupid all State Farm commercials with the Chiefs after they just lost. I was about losing my mind. But I think I might give them an edge here at home for the Chiefs. In this cold, they're so much more used to playing it. I mean, I really, 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 really would love to see Miami win, but I just have a feeling the Chiefs might pull off this win. Next up, you have the 7th Steelers at 2 Bills. The second spot, 10 a.m. Pacific on Sunday. So this game will be played in Buffalo, since Buffalo won a division over Miami last week. I was quite sad. I really wanted Miami to win a division. I just feel like the whole season I was really expecting them to kind of do that. At home, the Bills have been apparently almost unbeatable, 7-1, and in 4 times Josh Allen has faced the Steelers in his career, he is 3-1. So the forecast for the weather in Buffalo on Sunday is called for sub-freezing temps. I swear, these poor people, and a possible chance of snow. I mean, look at the New England game that happened versus the Jets in the last week. Like, that was brutal. Was that Bill Belichick that was out in the line, leaf blowing off the lines on the field so you could see where people were? Pittsburgh will be without TJ Watt and will start Mason Rudolph as a quarterback. I mean, Mason Rudolph did do well for them like 2 weeks ago when he played against the Bengals. But with the absence of TJ Watt and the loom for the Steelers defense, which will have the hands full against Josh Allen and the Bills on the road, Buffalo started off like really cold for this season, but I feel like they kind of hit like their stride a little bit later in the season. And I kind of am expecting them to beat out Pittsburgh. So let's see what happens. Then we got the 7th spot, Packers at 2, Cowboys 1:30 Pacific time on Sunday. So this game will hopefully be a comeback for Mike McCarthy. Not that I'm a Dallas fan by any means, but you know, this will be the second time since he was fired by the Packers in 2018 that he has faced his previous team. McCarthy lost the first game in 2022, and I'm sure it is looking to win here, especially since the Cowboys are great at home this year. It's amazing. I mean, their home record versus their road record is ridiculous. It's crazy. You got to be just as good on the road as you are at home. So while Jordan Love's and the Packers managed to sneak, though, into the playoffs, I mean, I know a few Packers fans, and I'm sure they were absolutely thrilled after a rough start. They'll face a tall order against a talented and dominant Cowboys squad. Dak Prescott has his Dallas offense rolling, and they're even, like I said, they're way better at home. So I believe that the Cowboys will get a win here. Then we have the 6th seed, the Rams, at the 3rd spot, the Lions, 5 p.m. on Sunday. As for the Lions' first playoff game in 30 years at home, they are welcoming back their previous quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Now, how funny. Now the two teams are playing each other. My little quarterback swap here, as I like to call it. The Rams quarterback led the Lions to the playoffs 3 times, but never got to play a home game. So it's a big day for Jared Goff. He was traded away because his coach didn't want him anymore, and now he faces that team. Matthew Stafford, though, has had an MVP caliber season. His 6% big-time throw rate tied for second best in the league, or tied for best, in the league with 200-plus attempts. Before their Week 10 bye, they were only 3-6, and then they went 7-1 to only be defeated by the Ravens in overtime. So the Rams really turned it around. I mean, it does help that one of their star players, Puka, had over 1,500 receiving yards as a rookie. Congrats to him. He did amazing. They also have Aaron Donald, who again led the all-defensive linemen in pressures with 84 and 16 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. I would really love to see the Lions win, but this game is going to be super hard. Matthew Stafford's Super Bowl win with the Rams is the closest the Lions fans have gotten to a championship in decades. Now, Jared Goff has a chance to change that, and starting with leading Detroit, I think it's going to be really hard. I would love to see the Lions win. I really think I might cheer for the Lions here. I think this game is really going to be a nail-biter, and I think it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. But I think that Jared Goff really kind of wants to get payback at what happened, him going to the Lions and getting off the Rams. So I think that he's going to try his best with his teammates to hold the Rams at bay and advanced on. So let's see what happens with Detroit fans. That'd be crazy. And then last up, we do have the 5th spot Eagles at the 4th spot Bucs on Monday, 5:15 Pacific time. So the Eagles made the playoffs, but it was a long and losing end to the season. For our team is on track to be the number 1 seed. Trash that at the end. However, we head back to Tampa, where I was there in week 3 when the Eagles did win. Now, the Eagles who won 25-11 in Tampa in week 3 do not look like the same Eagles that I had watched lose to the goddamn Cardinals and the Giants at the last 2 weeks. Oh, a special appearance by my cat, as per always. I'd rather have him appearing than meowing. This is perhaps the most confusing matchup of the wild card round, so the Eagles should easily be able to handle the Buccaneers. But our team apparently appears to fall apart. Now, our injuries with last week against the Giants, I understand. I mean, A.J. Brown had to be taken out. We had DeAndre Swift was out. I think Smith was also out. So Smith, Swift, and Brown were all out of the game, and that's a big problem for us because, I mean, they're 3 of our star players. However, we did, I think, go to the Super Bowl and win on, like, third-string receivers that I had never heard of before in my entire life. So, meanwhile, Tampa has rallied behind Baker Mayfield, has been playing efficient ball for much of the season. Both teams looked awful in Week 18. I was honestly surprised that Tampa managed to pull out that win, but I think that the Eagles are going to come out firing like there was nothing wrong and get the win. Even if it's by a freaking field goal, I will take it. I just honestly want to advance at this point through the first round of the playoffs, and we lose out one of the next 2 games. So be it. It sucks, but you know what? I think we need to heal some of our players. We need to figure out, we need to regroup. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who are you picking for these games? And keep it posted. Please like, subscribe, share. I love you all so much. Thank you.